Mother about to marry and start a new life. Tracy White was driving down a Columbia road in June of 2003. She had never met George Weiss, a local auditor. They lived only miles apart. But the two lives would cross paths around 1:30 in the morning. Tracy was headed home. Weiss driving the wrong way on the interstate. Troopers say he was drunk when he hit White's car head on. A passenger in the car seriously injured. Tracy White dead. Weiss was convicted of felony DUI. He was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Hard time for what he took from White and her family, or at least that's what her family thought. Although sentenced to state prison, Weiss was sent to the Chester County Detention Center, 2 counties away from Columbia. He was classified as a minimum security inmate, the State Department of Corrections saying he could work outside the prison as long as he was supervised at all times. We found Weiss, not in jail, but working at Chester City Hall in his own office with a private telephone. Yes, hi, who am I speaking to?
This is George Weiss.
The city administrator says Weiss did internal accounting work for the city, nothing illegal about putting his skills to work, but here's where his relationship with the city got a little cushier. We obtained these photos of Mr. Weiss inside City Hall, where he appears to be dancing or exercising with co-workers. Oh, and here he is swimming in the pool on a hot day at the city-operated Wiley Park. The police chief in charge of his supervision that day says Weiss was helping cook at a Junior Cadet Academy event, but it's unclear what cooking Weiss was doing in his swim trunks. The state says inmates like Weiss must be working at all times when they're not behind bars. This raised questions about how much supervision Mr. Weiss was really under and whether he was really being punished for the drunk driving death of Tracy White. A typical day for George Weiss began with the Chester County Sheriff releasing him to city police, who transport him to City Hall for work. At 5 o'clock, he was supposed to be walked out with police escort and taken back to jail. But what happened on this day? What work was he doing inside a
He was
swimming
helping
pool?
cook. He was helping cook, and then that's when he got into the food, yes.
Should an incarcerated inmate be recreating like that?
They have time for recreation, sir, but this particular event, that was after the event that took place.
Should he have not been brought directly back to the jail after doing his work? I mean, if he's not working, he's not supposed to be recreating.
Yes, sir.
So what about that constant supervision the state says is supposed to be in place? When we were at City Hall, we found Mr. Weiss alone in his upstairs office.
As far as standing over and watching, we don't do that, no, sir.
We did find the city administrator downstairs, who says he and others supervised Weiss too, but he wasn't interested in answering questions on camera.
No pictures.
We showed our pictures to City Administrator Jeff Kerr. He says they must have been taken before his term started, and he called Weiss a very valuable asset. He also says Weiss, who not only had a private phone but also a computer, only had access to data the city gave him. But you bet the city valued Mr. Weiss's experience. Not only has Mr. Weiss done accounting work for the city of Chester, he apparently participates in city council meetings. That's the inmate's name on a 2007 council meeting agenda, participating in city finance meetings. In fact, the administrator tells us the city finance director was one of his many supervisors. Weiss was a partner in a Columbia accounting firm before his CPA license was revoked after his felony DUI conviction. When we walked upstairs to talk to Weiss, there were no supervisors to be found. Hi there.
Hey,
Good. Are you George Weiss? Hi, I'm Jonathan from Channel 7. How are you? I was hoping to just ask you a few questions if you wouldn't mind. We showed him that picture of him taking a dip in the city pool. Is that you? We're just wondering what work you were doing for the county or city while you were in the swimming pool. He didn't have much to say, neither does the family of Tracy White, still too distraught to even talk about that tragic day.
My son was a passenger in a car.
For other parents who have lost children to drunk drivers, the story is all too familiar.
Our state doesn't look at felony DUI with a death or great bodily injury as a violent crime. You go through all of the trial, all the trauma, all the pain, and then you're slapped in the face or punched in the stomach by finding out this person is just enjoying himself.
Leaving the heartbreak for families in cases like this harder to bear as they wonder, is justice really being served? In Chester, Jonathan Carlson, News Channel 7.